watch the film. It's premiering.
Yes, it's gonna be having its Asian premiere
September 4 to 6.
8.
4 to 8.
Gateway.
Gateway and
then I think some couple of SM cinemas as well, but particularly in SM Manila.
yes, and please do support our film, and it's a great film.
Okay, Mr. Happy, greetings lang po. Welcome.
Thank you po sa pumupunta po kayo dito. So,
Marunong sila mag-Tagalog.
sa number 428 po, pumunta po kayo lahat para manood po kayo ng
Thank you.
Thank you po.
Of course, our actor, kasi si Direk kanina nag-welcome remarks na si Boo.
Hello everyone, ako si Bu. Thank you for coming. I hope you enjoyed the food. Sobrang sarap dito. Best Indian food na natikman ko. And of course yung film, I hope you guys get to watch and then invite all of your friends and whoever. I think when you watch the film or when your friends watch the film, I think it will leave them with something that they can take away and help people in their lives with.
Okay, without further ado, we'll start with the Q&A para mas marami tayong mapag-usapan sa ating cast and director. Siguro isa munang tanong on my part, Direk, paano nagsimula ang project na ito?
So this started way back during the pandemic. So I think everybody could, even those that do not have mental illness or probably are not really aware of it, doon talaga parang medyo nas na-emphasize because people were, stuck at home, couldn't do anything. It's the same thing with us. Especially we've been doing production since 2018 na, you don't really have a choice but to just stay inside your house. Everything is very restricted. That's why parang nung time na yon, my sister and I were also dealing with our own demons, and we were suffering some, of course, some questions in mind, like how long is this gonna take, etc. And then, parang kumbaga, we diverted our attention to something else, which was to write this film. So when we originally did this, we wrote an 8-episode script because this particularly was really done for a limited series. That was our intention to do a limited series because I'm currently working on a full-length film called Pag-ani, and we all know naman na medyo mahirap kumuha talaga ng funding for it. Hindi naman siya biro, at saka ang ROI doon, hindi rin naman joke time, diba? Medyo it's longer than the usual. So sabi namin, gawa muna tayo ng script, gawa muna tayo ng sulat muna tayo ng script para sa isang limited series because we tried pitching the full length muna. But yung full length na yun, they liked it, they wanted to turn it into a series. Ako naman, I didn't want to make it into a series. So sabi ko, I figured, why don't we write a limited series? Like a different story. So we wrote As the Moth Flies. Originally, dapat Paro-Paro yung name niyan. Nung time na yon, sumikat yung Paro-Paro G. So change namin yung pangalan. Sabi, baka ma-associate doon. Sobrang sikat kasi yung time na yon. Tapos, ayun, so 8-episode script, and then when we sat down, spoke to Kuya Happy and then Rav about it, sabi ko, gawa tayo ng short film muna kasi may gamit naman tayo, kompleto gamit, and wala kami ginagawa. So actually, when we started executing it, na parang it's just around our subdivision, karamihan ng scenes. Pero yun, nakakatawa na nairaos at we really poured all our hearts to it. We made sure na when we were writing the script, very accurate lahat ng kumbaga references to people who suffer from mental illness or probably even people who aren't aware of it. Kasi when we designed it na talagang when the audience watches it, it's like going inside someone's head. na merong who suffers from mental illness. So that's probably how it's a bit different from the usual execution.
Alright, so gusto ko lang makakuha po ng konting backgrounder on our producers or our production people. Paano po kayo nag-evolve? Paano po kayo nag-collaborate? Or paano po kayo na-convince para mag-produce ng As the Moth Flies?
So yan, basically, before I met Gayle, me and Kuya Happy was partners already in production. So Kuya Happy is a producer in India as well before. Not in Bollywood, it's a big thing, but mainly in Punjab, in our region. So in India, if you go to India, it's like every region has their own industry. So he's been producing films here, there, and then he came back here, and then we started doing like events, festivals for Indians. So mostly our companies were focused on Indians, on the festivals of Indians. And then one day, Kuya Happy told me that why don't we get into Philippine cinema, because there's a big scope and there are great stories to tell, and of course, yeah. And then during lockdown as well, I met Gayle. Actually, we met through a friend, yeah,
Ontiveros.
Luis Ontiveros, if you know him. So we met Gayle for that, and then she pitched in the Pag-ani, the film Pag-ani, the full-length film. We liked it, but for us, for the newcomers like us producers in the Philippine cinema, it was like starting up. So it was really a big step if we'll go for Pag-ani. So me and Kuya Happy decided na, I said, let's see, but the budget is too high for now. And then yeah, she told you that she made this film, and then she called me up, and then she said, I have a film and it's on mental illness, and as she said that it was pandemic, everyone is going through something, and then I asked Kuya Happy as well about that, and then that's it. So we already have the film in front of you.
Sige, we'll start the Q&A. The first set of questions will come from Jojo Panaligan of Rider Page.
Direk, I understand kayo din po yung writer.
Bali po parang I wrote it, concept ko, but it was really arranged by my sister. It's my screenplay by MB Garcia, who's here.
She's there at the back.
She's at the
Hi,
back.
Chi.
So, yeah.
Okay. Para lang po magka-idea yung viewers namin, give us the synopsis as
Okay, so the synopsis, a really short synopsis would be, it's about a couple who's, in the onset of the film, you'd see that they're seeking therapy because the partner, who is played by Gabunada, is about to enter rehabilitation. And I don't wanna, and then the therapist, who is played by the ever so talented Mr. Epi Quizon, as they go through the therapy, Mina Cruz unravels a very dark, eerie information about it.
Thank you. For Boo naman, kanina the producers gave us an idea how they got involved. Ikaw naman.
Hindi ko naman siya nalala. Yeah. Parang, so my brother told me na Gayle was looking for an actor. Specifically,
During the pandemic kasi, sumabog yung huling El Bimbo na play.
Musical.
Right? It was so big, like the musical, and he was part of that. And during the time na sobrang sikat nung huling El Bimbo, when I was watching it, particularly hindi ako masyadong fan nung play. Pero, sorry, diretsa, hindi ako masyadong fan. Pero isa lang yung nag-catch ng attention ko at si Buyon. Sabi ko, galing umarte nito. Sabi ko, alam mo, perfect siya doon sa sinusulat natin, Chi. So, I was talking to my sister nga. Nung sinusulat namin siya, usually when I write kasi, I already have the actor in mind. pag sinusulat ko yung isang bagay, or kami dalawa ng kapatid ko, nai-envision na namin kung sino. So sabi ko, perfect si Bu doon. And then, small world, yung brother niya pala, nakatrabaho ko na sa commercials. Kasi yung brother niya, he owns his own marketing agency. I own my own marketing agency. And then we worked on a particular project during the pandemic. And then I saw doon sa friend requests, sabi ko, bakit kaibigan nito ni RG si Bu. Pagtingin ko, ay magka-apelido sila. So magkapatid pala silang dalawa. So tinawagan ko kagad si RG. Sabi ko, kapatid mo pala si Bu Gabunada. So sabi niya, ganyan. Tapos sabi ko, gusto ko siyang kunin as an actor for this film. Game kaya siya. Pandemic, ang daming restrictions. Pero, ayun.
So naging tulay, may naging tulay.
Yes. That was, I remember Gayle sent me the script and then told me like a short background about it. And I think at the time, pandemic, parang as Gayle said earlier, parang we're all at home, isolated, and then we're all forced to confront our own demons. I think the material really spoke to me. And I was like, okay, yeah, game. Let's do it.
What do you think of the advocacy?
I think it's very important, especially in the Philippines. I've been to other countries and I found out that a lot of things are more accessible to them. As someone who has mental health illness, it's a lot easier for them to seek help. But here in the Philippines, there's stigma. Still stigma. It's kind of strange. There's still stigma about it, and to the accessibility as well. Proper information regarding when you need to seek help and what kind of help you can actually get. Those are all not as good or not ideal. It's there. You can seek help, but then not ideal. And I think one of the main things why I really wanted to explore this film with all of the collaborators was because the advocacy speaks to me, and it's an advocacy that more people would support.
My last question to our producers: do you plan to bring this to India, or have you already done so?
We plan to, but for now we wanted to focus on Philippines. But yeah, maybe we haven't think about it. We haven't planned about it. But yeah, if like Kuya Happy has friends there, we can someday maybe. But we don't have any plans here because we want to focus to be released in Philippines.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jojo. Set some questions from Dalian Carvajal of Inquirer.
Hi, good afternoon. For Gayle, so why is the title as MOTH?
So this is really nice trivia. So when you're diagnosed with particularly schizophrenia, you go through an MRI, and then the results of the brain scan is the shape of a butterfly. So I think the reason behind we thought of, originally nga paru-paro po siya. Change lang po namin kasi nga sobrang sikat ng paru-paro G
That's a
nun.
better choice.
And then my mentor then in film, Malaya Passion, when I told him about the title, he was so against it. Sabi niya, come up with like a different name. Paru-paro doesn't suit well. You have to come up with like a better name. So sabi ko, okay. And then we had several different names, and then sabi ko lang, okay, as the moth flies, because when you suffer from mental illness, there are what you call episodes. And there are times wherein you're okay, there are times wherein you're not. So when the episode kicks in, it's when the moth flies. As the moth flies.
And for Bu, how did you prepare for your role? Did you watch the K-drama? It's okay not to be.
Actually, recently ko lang
You did this na.
when we did this, I think, as with a lot of the things that I do, I really dive in with the research, especially with this kind of material. So, I watch a lot of YouTube documentaries on mental health illnesses, Hindi ka maubusan ng resources online. I've read some papers also, specifically about schizophrenia, but also the other.
Which one particularly moved you or hit you?
There's a documentary on YouTube na they really showed someone who, like the physicality of the person going through a mental health illness, and then when he or she actually has episodes. Yun, that really moved me kasi I think it's important. I think when another person sees someone going through an episode, it's much more easier to help that person if you know that it's happening. So, the visual cues, yung mga habits of people with mental health illness, you can notice it if you're aware. So, ayun, those are, I mean, just research really. I think,
What's your advice to those with relatives or loved ones or parang you learn from your role?
I think, as I mentioned earlier, I think there's a stigma to it. A lot of people think that when you have a mental health illness, you're weak or you're incapable of doing things. Pag sa Pilipino naman, di ba, sasabihin, okay lang yan, or nagdadrama, or moody lang. Medyo na-minimize kasi yung what actually it is. So, for people who think that they have a loved one, a friend, a relative who is going through a mental health illness, whether undiagnosed or diagnosed, the best thing that these people can do is to study about it, to research, watch resources, watch films, look at art. There's so many talented artists everywhere who have mental health illness. However, it's never been, it's not a limitation. One thing that I think about mental health illness is, for me, is that it's allowed people to, when you see someone with mental health illness, you recognize that person. Parang kilala mo na in a way. And for me as an artist, I think it's not a detriment at all. It's actually allowed me to empathize more with people and be closer to them, maybe think about things that would speak more to them. So, ayun, ang dami sinabi, sorry.
That's all. Next question, Iza from Maynila Times.
So, hi to Direct Gayle. Did you intend to premiere the film first internationally before the Philippines, and how was the experience in Brussels?
Yeah. Well, when we made the short film, as originally planned, the script is an 8-episode script for a limited series. But we figured, in order for us to really get to test if the material is gonna really resonate with people, let's make a short film. Anyways, if we're gonna pitch this, you have a material that's gonna last for 15 minutes, people could watch it, naman the attention span of people. So it's like the easiest route, like creating like a pitching material. It's easier and all. And I spoke to them, we gotta invest on the short film. And then during our research, we found out nga na, you don't get to qualify to like world premiering festivals if we premiere it first in the Philippines. So that's really the main reason. So that's why we initially went to the international scope muna, and then really entered like the short film to numerous film festivals that are mga A-list festivals. And then of course we got like a ton of rejections. And then one day, we got the word from, actually wala nga nag-announce sa akin, may tumatawag sa phone ko. Akala ko baka credit card. So I'm kidding. So it was a foreign number, and I kept canceling it. Kasi sabi ko, bakit may tumatawag foreign number sa akin? So I kept canceling it. And then Mina Cruz, the lead actress, sent me a message. Sabi niya, someone messaged me that we got into Brussels Film Festival. Sabi ko, oh? Because I didn't know. And then when I saw the message na, so they really went ahead and looked for other people to contact me because I kept canceling the call. Tapos, ayun na. So I was informed about it. Of course, when we found about it, we were like jumping our hearts out. We were crying because it's such a big deal. It's such a big deal to get into an Oscar qualifying festival. Because in the world, there's like 160 plus lang na festivals that could do that. And then after that, when we got there, sobrang kinailangan ay kasuin kagad yung mga papeles and all, sobrang last minute. But we're very, very thankful to Tito Poc Estrella, so he's one of like the big agents from Netflix here in the Philippines, who helped us out, connected us to the ambassador of Brussels. So they were able to like come up with like to provide us a visa immediately. Kasi ang hirap kumuha ng Schengen. So like overnight, it was an overnight thing. So they were able to come up with like a visa immediately. So when I went to the embassy, pagkatatak nun, pagka-uwi, like my team was the one who like placed all my clothes and yung sa maleta po, sa my suitcase, and then we drove kagad na to the airport because the ticket, and then of course Kuya Happy like sponsored the ticket and everything, so that someone can represent the film, because we were the only ones also Asia Pacific. We were representing Asia Pacific because it was the only Asian film that got into that festival. Everybody else from Europe or from the United States. So when I went to Brussels, sobrang kakaiba yung very surreal yung feeling, because iba pala yung way ng appreciation ng art. Like people would line up and hindi siya katulad dito sa Pilipinas na people don't go to the cinemas anymore right after the pandemic. But doon, grabe yung appreciation nila. Even kids would line up, right, with their parents. Sobrang haba, nangyari sa Flagey yun. And then, sobrang surreal ng experience, because yung appreciation nila talaga doon. They talk about the films right after, and they like really invest money on their filmmakers in Europe. I guess one of the major key moments during the time when I was there, during our screening time, it was such a heartwarming experience, because people of different races, like Europeans, Americans, Filipinos, and all, right after the film, they went to me and then they said, "Thank you for making this film," and they were crying. Like I was really caught off guard that may mga umiiyak, lumalapit, and people cried when they were watching that. And then they told me na, "Thank you for making this film," because Europe also, they provide proper assistance to people who suffer who has mental illness, but meron pa ring stigma doon. Sabi ko nga, go to the Philippines, mas malala yung stigma. So, that's why we were inspired to make this film. But, talagang yung description nila, I know what you're talking about. Like, when you said na, we made this film so that you could kind of like warp into someone's head who's suffering this particular mental illness. Because that's how we really designed it, even the editing, even the sounds. That's how we designed this short film, to really make you feel how it is to have that, particular itch that you can't find, right? Because that's always the description of someone who suffers mental illness. Para kang nangangating hindi mo alam kung nasaan siya, right? You don't know where to scratch it. Like, physical ba siya or mental or mental problem siya. So that's what you will experience right after you watch it. You go outside the cinema, that's what you're gonna feel.
And yes, siguro in connection, why did you decide to join Sinag compared to other festivals na pwede nyo namang samahan?
To be honest, I'll be frank. Wala pa kami masyadong experience sa pag-enter ng festivals dito sa Philippines. But super huge thanks to our publicist, of course, Mother Mel, who has been helping us out. Talaga, si Mother Mel yung Gayle, nag-send ka na ba dito? Try mong i-check out to. And even before he became our publicist, he has been like encouraging different filmmakers and kasama na ako doon sa sinasenda niya lagi ng, okay, if you wanna pitch, try this because they're supporting and they're gonna provide funds for, possible scripts na magaganda. And you rarely find that now, no? Because, one thing that's sad about this industry in the Philippines is it's very monopolized, particularly in the entertainment industry. I'll be frank, no? Tatag. And it's heartwarming and it's amazing that there are still people who are passionate and genuine to help future filmmakers get to where they should be. So thank you, Mother Mel.
Mother
You're
Mel.
very mad. Very mad. You're welcome. Magaling naman kasi si Gayle. May potential.
I thank you.
Nagpurihan daw kami. Sige, yung iba pang mga katanungan, mga kapatibod kayo mahiya to throw your questions. Josh or Kate? Si Kate muna.
Direct, given that the theme is heavy, did you have to consult a psychiatrist or
Oh
an
yes.
expert?
Oh yes. With the help of EA Rocha then with TBA. So one of the most famous executive producers in the Philippines. I think everybody's familiar with the EA Rocha. He's also one of the people whom I consider as my mentor when I was starting out, and even if they did not produce or help produce or distribute this film, he wouldn't really, he's not gonna stop himself from helping out those who he sees, who he thinks has potential. So because of that, he of course helped us out to make sure that we go to the right path.
And also, do you have other plans in place in terms of marketing the movie after Sinag Maynila?
Oh yes po. So going back to Tito Eddie, so si EA Rocha po kasi, so when we had a private screening for this, he brought in some professionals like psychiatrists in the cinema because he'd like to see how accurate the mannerisms are, because you will see it there, yung mga mannerisms, yung mga habits and all na diniscuss nga ni Boo. He really researched about it, which I was very thankful for. And he also lost weight for it. Right? Because during the pandemic, of course, stuck tayo sa pandemic, chubby tayo lahat noon. So, nung time na yon, sabi ko sa kanya, Boo, are you okay? Because if you're gonna look at the script, makikita mo doon, ina-emphasize talaga yung pag-deteriorate ng health ni Jet, which is his character. And then yung pagpayat niya, because that's gonna make you, sometimes when you take meds kasi, sometimes you lose your appetite talaga. You don't get to eat at all. Because what it's trying to do is produce you those serotonin in your brain para mag-normalize yung hormones mo so that you get to sleep better. Kasi yun ang mga common problems ng taong may mental problem. So yun. So, and he did such a great job. impersonating that character. And when the psychiatrists were there to watch the film, right after, sana hindi naman nila ako binobola, pero sinabi naman nila very accurate daw. So, and then, again, with the help of my sister, kasi my sister is, was clinically diagnosed. So, she went through her tough situations back then, years ago, and she basically incorporated some of the actual situations that we both had, to make it really accurate and to make you feel it, because that's how you make the film effective.
Thank you. And yeah, in the marketing.
Marketing po right after, yes. And I think because it's Sinag Maynila, then I think we're gonna reach out to them because it's under Solar. We'll try to pitch it, wink wink, the 8-episode script, because we really want to expand this further, because we believe that this will definitely relate to a lot of people who are silent about what they're going through.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kate. Questions from Josh? Or si Romel muna? Romel muna, from Pep.
Hindi, tanong ko lang, your sister is okay now?
Yes po. Yes po.
Tapos, sabi mo yung both experiences niyo, ikaw ba direct during the time of the pandemic until now, during the time before you started the film, nagkaroon ka din ba ng mental health issues na pwede mong i-share?
I think po lahat naman po talaga tayo meron deep inside. And I think it's also important lang, kumbaga may particular people lang talaga na mas kulang lang po talaga nung, what do you call this, nung cells na kakailanganin sa brain. Pero ako po kasi I'm bipolar.
Yeah, I think you told us that.
I think I mentioned that. I think it's just that I'm a high-functioning bipolar. Kaya nagagawa akong mag-execute kahit na I do have episodes. Sometimes it's the other way around. Kapag ka may episodes po, dun ako talagang mas determined tapusin yung mga bagay-bagay. Kasi meron pong high-functioning and then low-functioning bipolar. May categories pa po kasi yan. So, sobrang wide niya talaga. Ngayon, of course, during the pandemic, there were like a lot of situations that triggered us into, thinking of so many things na parang questioning our existence and all that. But I think because of with the help of art, and we really set our minds to the goal. Na the goal is to really establish, a career in this industry, and at the same time, create films that make sense, create films that will help people, right? And we're holding on, we're clinging on to that, yung passion na yun. We're clinging on that passion. That's why, until now we're here, right? Until now we're here. Because it's tough. There had been several moments, even during the time when we were doing this, we experienced probably one of the biggest problems that an executive producer or a filmmaker has to go through, and that's reshooting everything, right? Because
That's not talking.
so this short film took us a year to make, even if it's just for 15 minutes, but it took us a year to make.
Example lang, bakit may reshoot? Like what scene?
Something happened. Maybe let's not talk about it.
We can talk about it. We don't really have to. We just don't have to mention the name. So we had originally when we wrote this, it was for a different actress.
Yeah, you told us.
But the actress disappeared.
Yes,
So we're almost done with the film. We, of course, Tito Epi, Kizon, he had a schedule to follow. So we had to adjust for his schedule. And he was very, very supportive of this film. Like, when I sat down with him, asking him for what his talent he was, and sabi niya,
We're very
no,
thankful to Sir.
very, very thankful to Tito Epi. He said, no, worry about that later on. I'll help you guys out. I like the advocacy. And though that's one thing I love about Tito Epi. He didn't ask for a single dime to make this film. Right? Because he said that I also want to help, you know, with this advocacy of yours.
And then Mina stepped in.
And then,
She,
of course,
so
yes.
yun ang reshoot.
So, kumbaga po, last shooting day na namin, nawala yung aming actress. And then, I remember crying kay Tito Epi, pati kay Tito Alvin Anson, kasi sabi ko, oh my God.
Dinagdagan yung
Oo.
Lahat
Kasi-
tapos na kasi, yun na lang po
Tsaka
talaga.
siya yung lead role.
Siya yung
Pero she was paid pa rin.
She was paid.
Itago natin sa pangalan.
Huwag niyo ako hamunin. Nagpapawisan na siya.
I was trying to recall, I think you told me, okay, mag-i-issue pa. Tapos,
And then,
Baka
ayun na
siya
po.
pa yung maging...
Siya pa maging limelight. We don't want that. So, and I want the, kumbaga, nung nawala siya, nagpapawisan mo na. Ang kasama ko. Ayun, so grabe problemado ako na. I think it also triggered my episode. Right? It did. Like, and I think I couldn't get up when I found out about it. Like, mga 2 weeks. And then there was this film festival. I don't know if if you can recall it. Yung silent film festival. So, nilabas nila yung mga parang yung mga entries nun. And then I saw this one particular trailer, and Mina Cruz was there. And I said, Mina looks exactly like not the actress, but the character. So I think she could portray this excellently. And then, so our associate producer and script supervisor, si R.S. Magtaan, who got nominated for Agawad Urian last year, I called them up and I told them, hey, do you know this director? Kilala mo tong director na to, tong actress na to? Tapos sabi niya sa akin, I don't know the actress, but I know the director. I'll reach out to him. And then, it was a 24-hour process. Like, we got her name, reached out to her through Facebook. She replied immediately, set up a call, 8 p.m. that night, sat down, told her what happened, told her about the script, went through it, and she said yes. And then we told Boo about what happened, and then I told Boo, so all the scenes that we took for like 4 different days. 4 days po kasi yung shooting day na yun. Sabi ko, kailangan natin pagkasyahin sa 2 araw. So we have to reshoot everything. So we did. So yung 4 days na yun, ginawa namin 2-day shoot ng lahat ng scenes. But it was a blessing in disguise because we were able to like really pinpoint the ones that we have to improve further from the other clips. And at the same time, I don't know, I think the universe really wanted it to happen because the 2-day shoot was so smooth. And it was so smooth. Mina is such an amazing actress as well.
yeah, I've seen the film, she's very good.
It is very good, thank you.
But where is she? She disappeared also.
No. She's in Cebu right now because she's filming a film with Eric Mati's daughter.
She's very good.
So she has a lead role now for a film for Nicole Mati, direct Nicole Mati. So she's in Cebu, kaya she couldn't join us today.
So you can say siya, better replacement.
Better, way better.
Dan, itago natin sa
Initials.
ito na lang direct. Sabi mo nga, when you have episodes, mas magaling ka. ilang percent ng As the Moth Flies yung may episodes ka? Kasi maganda yung film. Ilang percent yun yung...
Siguro po 110% po yun.
Dahil dun sa nawalan.
Opo, dahil po dahil na po dun. Because we couldn't make a mistake anymore because we spent a lot of money already. Like, spent a lot of money. You saw naman po yung mga locations, no? Like, even, you know, we had to... The LRT2 also helped us out, right? And it was such a smooth process. So, yun po, it all became better. It all became better.
Thank you, Direk. Next naman kay Boo. Ikaw, Boo, kasi hindi man napanood ko. Ang galing-galing mo din na parang totoong meron kang mental health issues. So, same question siguro with you kay Direk. During that pandemic up until now, nagkaroon ka rin ba ng major mental health issue? And pwede mo bang ikwento? Paano mo nalampasan?
So actually yung pandemic, I really confronted myself. Start pa lang ng pandemic, I was really affected by the isolation, the all of the things that all of us went through. And it was also the time that I consulted with the psychiatrist for the third time, pero it was successful. Kasi I think I was able to get the help that I needed finally.
This was before you shot the film? Or?
Yeah, before.
Okay, so before meron kang ano pala?
So before I shot this film, I got my diagnosis from the psychiatrist and the help also that I
Ano yung diagnosis?
Bipolar disorder.
Same with okay. And then, how did you address it?
So addressing it was a mixture of medicine and also proper habits, like setting good boundaries for yourself in order to get back to a normal routine. One of the hardest things kasi about mental health illness and also siguro sabay na rin sa pandemic is yung aligaga ka, hindi ka makatulog, and then suddenly biglang ayaw mo na kumilos, parang pagod na pagod ka, wala kang gana gumana kahit ano. And it's a continuous cycle of ups and downs. So I think one of the main things that really helped me was talking to my family. Asking. I think before the diagnosis and before the pandemic, my relationship with my family is good. But during the pandemic, it got so much better kasi I feel like it was a huge relief just being able to finally get a diagnosis, being able to talk to people about it. I remember my mom asking a lot of questions na parang, ganito ba yung ganyan. Like parang nagulat ako kasi nagkukusa na yung mom ko na parang gusto niya maintindihan. So magtatanong talaga siya na hindi naman sa hindi siya concerned before, pero feeling ko hindi niya alam paano i-approach yung subject or baka nahihiya siya na ano. And I think dahil ako yung nagkusa na sinabi ko, magpapatingin na ako kasi hindi ko na kaya. And sana maintindihan niyo yung process. And then, even at one point, I think one of the things I appreciated with my psychiatrist at the time was, kinausap niya yung parents ko talaga. As in parang, nanay, tatay, ganito yan. Mahirap, pero kung aalalayan niyo naman si Nikki, okay lang. Kasi yun yung pinakakailangan niya. And I think that's also why yung film ito, it was an immediate yes for me to do it. Kasi personally I wanted to know more about mental health illness. There's so many types, there's so many different ways that it can manifest in a person. And each person would be different. So what you're gonna watch in the film is actually just one manifestation of what a mental health illness could look like. But I do hope that watching it will encourage people to want to know more about it. To want to know about what are the ways that you can help someone with mental health illness. And if I'm okay naman now.
Yun nga, I was going to ask you then, di ba? Maging okay ka na-address mo na everything
Yeah.
with therapy and medicines. Then bigla, gaganap ka sa pelikula na ganoon, hindi ka ba nahihirapan na parang okay na ako, biglang i-a-upti ko ulit yung pinagdaanan ko. Hindi ba mahirap yun?
I think that's something I would imagine that it would be hard. I think I would imagine that most people would think that that's a silly thing to do, to go back into something that makes you. Pero I think for me, I've been feeling this way for a long time po. As in, siguro since I was in grade school actually. Which is what I talked to my psychiatrist about. Parang we figured out na, you know, it goes back, it's just there, it's dormant. Parang, you see the little things, but it takes something big for it to kind of really become an episode. And I think I wanted to be brave. I wanted to be brave to face it. I think when I read the script and I saw how the story panned out, I thought, that's interesting. I think that's powerful. I think that would be helpful to people. Na, for me kasi when I read the script, the message was, you don't really know what people go through. And sometimes it's people that you thought are okay, and then di pala. So, I think that could be a powerful message.
But now you're okay.
Yes, yeah, okay.
Are you in a relationship, right?
Yes, yes.
It helps kasi, di ba?
Yes.
Wow, thank you and congratulations to you and Direk. May ano na lang, last question to the producer. Parang may to the producers. Kasi di ba, you had 2 years after you finish this film.
Yeah.
Tapos now, the situation since the pandemic is easing out. So the situation is more relaxed, you can do anything now. Did you plan or think na reshoot the film and make it longer and update the scenes?
Yes, the plan is like us, parang sinabi nga ni Gayle, na make it really limited series.
Yes.
Yun talaga yung plan. So maybe we'll go there.
So after the Sinag,
Maynila.
you make it longer and more updated.
Yeah, di ba Kuya Happy?
On the direct idea ko yun, no? And I hope Mina will not disappear this time. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mamaya, sabihin ni Direk ka mamaya.
Questions from Josh of ABS-CBN.
Question from you mentioned kayo na si Effie Pison. How is it working with sa set?
He is such a cool tito. Don't quote me on the tito. So, he's such a cool person talaga to act with and to work with. I feel like ang advantage kasi doon because he's also a filmmaker, an award-winning filmmaker, and he's also an amazing actor. So he knows both sides. Kasi paminsan kasi pag walang background sa production yung actor or actress, doon medyo tough katrabaho yung actor. Hindi ito naman nila lahat. Pero si Tito Effie, sobrang cool niya lang, chill, like, paminsan ako na yung mainit ang ulo, pero siya yung chill lang siya, parang sinasabi niya, huwag mo masyadong alalahanin yun. And at the same time, very careful din siya sa mga, mga terminologies na ginagamit. And what I love about him is that he does not stop himself from, really telling you or guiding me here kasi mas matagal na siya sa industriya. And he was, he guided me on a lot of things, both in production and in making sure that I handle or how I talk to actors and actresses. And I think with, ikaw magsabi kung how it is to work with him as an actor.
Wala. Parang nagpa-fangirl kasi nung kasama namin sa shoot. Tapos at one point, I think, Ni-recreate niya yung banayad whiskey.
Oo, nirecreate niya yung banayad whiskey.
Yung sikat ni
Dun sa, I think ginagawa niya talaga yon para to loosen up everyone.
Yeah.
Kasi syempre medyo stiff lahat, takot sa kanya. Kasi nga, ano siya eh, technically he's a legend
Yeah.
in
Boses
the
pa lang niya,
industry.
ganda na eh.
Diba? Tapos dumating siya doon, nakamotorsiklo lang siya. Sobrang humble, sobrang down to earth. Tapos pagdating namin doon, lahat kami stiff. Kasi nga syempre, kahit mga actors parang, si Epic Season 2, ganyan. Tapos, nag-roleplay siya ng banayad whiskey. Ginaya niya yung papa niya. Tapos lahat kami nagtawanan. Okay na kami lahat. Tapos, yun.
Yeah, super.
Sana hindi ko siya, nag-disappear din.
May ano po ata siya. Meron po ata siyang shooting with Net 25. He'd love it. But I think he's gonna be here he's gonna attend yung September 8 po.
Yung second question ko, mabigat yung tema ng pelikula. Pero there were happy moments pa. Parang dun sa love life nila. May pinakita ko na parang light moments.
Opo, meron naman po. Opo. But it's not a happy ending po.
Shocking ending. Oo.
Ano?
Shocking.
Bawal ba pre-em?
Kaya sabi ko lang shock.
At bago yung last question natin from Ronald, and kung may mga katanungan pang iba, gusto ko lang tanongin yung follow-up doon sa FP, Direct Gayle. Hindi-expect mo ba na hindi siya magpapasingan ng talent?
Hindi po. Hindi. Siyempre po, sobrang thankful ako. Kasi nung nalaman niya na hindi biglang disappearing act po yung yung original na kinuha namin. Tapos na kami nakapag-shoot na kami at ang laki na ng ginastos namin. Sabi niya, saka mo na isipin yan. Saka mo na isipin yan. Siya ang mismo nagkusa. Kaya lahat kami parang, grabe naman si Tito Effie.
Volunteer.
Oo. And I found out na he does that din pala talaga sa, even with other actors. Basta gusto niyo yung script. I think he also helped out to an up-and-coming director na I met sa Mowel Fund. Kasi si Mowel Fund, so I attended like a workshop for Cabin, Direct Cabin. Tapos, Cabin. So now, I saw isang entry ng trailer doon. Nandun si Tito Epi, tsaka si Soliman Cruz. Sabi ko, uy, si Tito Epi. And then I was talking to the director, to the filmmaker. Sabi niya, grabe, tinulungan niya lang din ako dyan. Kasama si Tito Sol. Tapos sabi ko, in fairness kay Tito Epi, he does that, I think, really on the side to help the industry.
Kahit yung reshoot, hindi siya namin yan.
So, libre talaga. Kasi wala.
Wala.
Kasi kanina sa kwento,
Like,
later.
pinipilit namin magbigay ng honorarium, ayaw niya. Sabi niya, next time, yung munang alalahanin.
Direct pasundot lang, since 2 years na ang nagdaan, yung si actress, wala kayo pa rin communication.
Walang legal
Or nagbigay ba ng reason kung bakit siya nawala?
Ang funny na nangyari.
Si Jonel, wala ba kayong kontrata?
May contract naman po. May contract. Pero, wala, ano pong gagawin? Lahaba pa.
Actually,
Ano.
nung time na yun, gusto niyang i-stop yung shoot. Tapos parang gusto namin parang mag-legal case
Oo.
sa kanya.
Contract.
Yeah, but we decided na like the film is more important than we get into her. Yeah, because we'll be spending money on her as well. Peace of mind namin.
But you haven't.
So it was more important the success of the movie at least. Like,
Pero
we
kasi
have-
sayang one day na lang shoot niya, hindi pa niya tinutuloy.
mas sayang sa kanya kasi we got into Brussels.
Yes.
So, sayang na lang.
Sorry,
na lang siya.
sorry to her.
What's funny was, when I was in Brussels, I think our ATC RS, Magdaan, sent me a photo of her. I think she scored like a commercial, parang may commercial ata siyang ginawa. Ayun.
Tinanggal. At tinanggal,
Yun,
hindi
may
nila
mga-
nalaman ng reason niya kung ba't hindi niya tinapos yung one day.
Actually, mahaba yung reason niya. Pero,
Ano naman?
mahaba yung reason niya. Pero
In a
alam
nutshell,
namin,
ano yung reason niya?
in a nutshell, she's scared na, kasi there are scenes kasi na medyo R18 talaga. But, what's funny is that they saw naman the script. They agreed. So, I think may change of heart talaga right after. Kasi I think yung manager niya discouraged her to go through it kasi she might not get some commercial opportunities. Yun daw. Pero, inaano niyo talaga ako I-squeeze niyo talaga ako sabihin ko sino.
Maging manager tuloy, gusto na wala.
Ang pinag-creative
Lahat sila tumitingin na sa akin ng ano.
Sino yung manager ko sa series?
Mamaya daw, i-corner natin.
Huwag nyo na iwanan ba?
Bakit may dictatorship?
May tanong na ako sa mga producers.
Ay, may isang-isa na lang.
may
Doon
go.
sa Brussels, ano, may competition, may award ba yan or something?
Opo, competition siya. So,
May nakuha pa kayong nomination or award?
Well,
We got
nominated
Best
for
film.
Best Film. Pero, yun po, grabe po kasi yung kalaban doon. Oo, grabe po talaga
Pero
yung mga
ate-
kalaban doon.
So the nomination
No.
enough is like an award?
But it's already an award.
Sino mga kalaban?
The only Asian na.
Like, they are famous directors and like famous filmmakers as well. Nung nandun nga ako, like nung pagdating ko doon, dami nagpapapicture doon sa katabi ko. Sabi ko, sino ka? Sabi ko, baka ano, sikat pa talaga siyang,
Kasi po,
ano.
yung nanalo sa Brussels, diretso na sa Oscars. So, na-nominate lang kami. And
It's an
it was our first film, like, Direct Gayle's first directed film. And it was a short film. And then,
The only
first,
Asian.
and the first festival we got into was Oscar nominating festival. So,
When was this?
it's already a win.
last
for
year,
us.
2023.
Ano ba?
May.
Ito yung first,
May.
diba, na we got into.
Yeah, that was the very first one. And sobrang thankful kami kasi A-lister na festival siya. And grabe po talaga, like, grabe yung mga tao doon.
Doon pa lang, it's a big,
Big
statement
deal.
that it's really a good
Big deal.
film. Because we got
May mga
into.
ibang festivals pa na nasalihan.
Yes, mo.
Yeah, it got
Passion.
into Greenwich, got into Little Venice in London, and then
It's in the press release.
so
Four?
Yeah,
This is the fifth, right?
yeah,
Little bit.
4 ones, and then of course, sobrang thankful kami na when it decided to go back to, we decided to try like Asia naman. And we like sent out like applications and of course entered the short film. And the first one was Sinag, Maynila, which we're very grateful for. And syempre proud kami kasi ito yung homeland niya yung
Yeah.
film. So it went back here, Asian premiere. It's gonna be in our country where it originally, diba, where it originally was made. So we're very thankful for that. Grabe po yung mga entries kasi sa Brussels. Talagang meron po doon, yung nanalo po kasi ng short film doon, parang may mga walruses na involved. Na parang it's about ang tawag ko dyan? It's about global warming. Like, may mga, like it was in
Malaki
Antarctica.
talaga yung mga budget na.
Big,
Big
parang
budget.
sobrang
Right,
laking budget. Kaya nung napanood ko po yun, tatanong ako ni Kuya Happy tsaka ni Rab, so mananalo ba tayo? Sabi ko, hindi tayo mananalo dito.
Hindi kasi, we really believe. Sabi ko, panalo tayo siya.
Sabi ko, nanonood ako, sabi ko, grabe yung mga palabas dito.
Pero out of how many?
Pero pumasok kami sa top 3 kasi yung isang jury doon, naging friend ko, si Richard Harris. Sabi niya, it's not because naging friend ko siya, but he was really telling me, sabi niya, hindi lang kami nagkatugma, pero pumasok na kayo doon sa tatlo na tinitignan. Pero talagang grabe yung nanalo kasi doon talaga. Like what do you call this? May iceberg doon na doon lang silang lahat, yung mga walruses, like thousands of walruses. Sabi ko, paano nangyari yun? Paano nyo nagawa? Must involve a ton of money. Forgot na po eh. Pero, yun nga pong kasabayan ko na director din, filmmaker from Georgia.
Yung walrus from Georgia.
Ay, hindi po. Like, from a different, pero yung director na kasabayan ko, nung pinalabas po yung As the Moth Flies, meron din siyang entry. Sobrang sikat niya palang actor. Like, nanonood lang ako ng Netflix one day, kakalabas lang anong movie yun? Yung kay, what do you call this? Yung kay, nandun si Chris Hemsworth. What was that?
Instruction.
Ayun, Extraction. Siya yung main antagonist. Sabi ko, familiar sa akin yung tsura to. Sabi ko, oh my God, it's him. So, famous actor pala siya, yung director na yun. Kaya pala ang dami nagpapapicture sa kanya. Hindi ko po siya kilala eh. So, hindi naman ako nagpapapicture. Nakakasabay ko lang siya at nakakakwentuhan. Ayun. Nung nandito na ako, saka ako nag-message sa kanya, I didn't know you were a famous actor.
I have a question for Sir Ram. Ilan taon na po kayo sa Pilipinas at bakit magtataas mo yung Tagalog?
Ito na po ako pinanganak.
Dito kayo.
Born and raised. And we're happy how many years already? 26 years. So parang 3 years old ako dumating siya sa Philippines.
So what do you do po for your business? For
Yeah,
your...
we have a production company. We are focused on before like this venture, we were focused on Indian events. We do Indian events. We distribute Bollywood films here in Philippines. We bring in Indian films here.
I see. So yung pagpo-produce po ng pelikula Pilipino ba? Tuloy-tuloy naman to?
Yes po. That's really a long-term plan we really have. Dito rin like we really want to produce it into a limited series, and then ang mahirap lang kasi is like what we're really thinking about is if we go to produce it into a limited series, the platform saan namin siya i-release, like for us, for parang bago, medyo parang ano pa siya, medyo parang mahirap. Tama ba yun? Parang like what she said before, we really feel that na it's monopolized. The distribution. Yeah.
So we're really exploring it on our own. Even with when Tito Eddie was really already offering, let's put it under TBA. And then of course, it was such an honor to get that kind of opportunity. It's just that we wanted to really, when we started this, we wanted to experience it. We also want to, you cannot just say kasi na when you experience it, you experience all the good things about it. We also have to, of course, want to learn and experience the challenges that you'd have to go through in terms of distribution, in terms of marketing it. Kaya sabi namin, we wanna, experience the whole deal, whole shebang. And I think it's just really blessed then, and of course, when you work so hard for a material, and you pour your heart into it, and genuine naman yung interest mo and the advocacy in it, talagang everything will fall in the right place.
Plus you own this, di ba? Kayong dalawa, you own this.
Siya lang po. He owns the rest of it.
We're down to the last two questions para kung meron mga gustong mag-one-on-one kay Derek or Boo, later we allow pa rin po. Pero we have a question from Rona. Rona, may tanong ka?
Yeah.
Yes po.
Kay Direk.
Yes po.
Kinig po.
Yes.
Direk, itong better replacement po yung si Mina. Kumusta naman si Bo sa anak po?
Ay, sobrang, si ano po yan eh, hindi, si One Take. Tawag sa kanya si One Take. Kasi laging one take lang most of the time. I think yung pinakamaraming takes mo lang yung yung kasama si Mommy Pam, no? Na scene. Yung nagwawala scene. So, yun yung, pero siya, almost all takes, one take. Sobrang amazing. And I think, kita ko naman yun kahit nung sa huling El Bimbo pa lang. Sabi ko, galing yung Marte nito ah. Tsaka yung the eyes don't lie kasi I think, yun yung, karamihan yun yung parang problem na nakikita ako sa mga films na ginagawa din ng iba. The eyes don't really speak what their dialogues are saying. So he's different because the eyes kasama siya. So
I think the pressure ako kasi 4 days naging 2 days na lang. So kailangan one take last. The joke.
Thank you, Derek. Kay Bo naman.
Yes po.
Can you tell us about your background sa industry?
Ah,
Tapos ano man sabi sa mga actor na hindi pa nag-share yun?
Hindi po. So ako po, nag-start po sa theater. Simula college, and then, yun, afterwards, luckily, I got into theater here. And then, yeah, audition lang po ko na audition before. Actually, there was a point na akala ko hindi ko na itutuloy, pero sinarte pa rin, tapos sumunod-sunod. So, and then from there, parang, even while I was doing theater po, I was already trying to learn other things. So, nag-workshop po ako with cinematography, directing, writing, because I think it all helps you. Like, as Gayle mentioned earlier, parang it's easier to work with an actor who knows also what's going on behind the scenes. You're not just focused on what you do. And then for actors who haven't tried theater, yeah, try it. Kasi hindi niyo po malalaman yung experience until masubukan niyo eh.
Iba yung discipline nila eh.
Diba? Oh, ano po yun?
Yung iba baka hindi kaya.
Iba yung discipline sa theater.
Ano dapat gawin?
Pwedeng
Tulad ni.
Or baka hindi lang po sanay or bago. Mahirap din po talaga pag napasaba kasi hindi ka handa eh. Pero kung tatry po nila yun, maghanda talaga sila. Para hindi sila parang ginuuso ng tubig.
May kakulangan ba sa isang artista pag hindi nag-teatro?
Hindi ko naman po masasabi na gano'n. I think marami rin po actors na I look up to na
Iba lang yung medium.
yung medium po talaga. But personally, mahirap i-quantify kung ano yung maganda eh. For me, very different. But, ano ba? Iba eh.
Basta magkaiba siya.
Basta magkaiba. Tapos, meron po sa akin sinasabi lagi si Nico Manalo, na both theater and film actor, na theater is more of exploding, while film is improve.
Ay, both of the D.
I have a question for Gayle and then before the last question ni Nas. Ano ba ang inspiration mo or influences mo na pwedeng mong subukan or sundin ng mga sa local filmmakers natin na pinepeg mo na gusto mong gawin in your future films?
Influence po, like particular
Local filmmakers.
local
Kung sino-sino
filmmakers.
po sila at bakit? Na parang gusto mong hinahay mo sila maging idol, something. Kung meron na. At bakit?
So yung, ano na po, ang tawag po dyan, mga gusto ko po kasing filmmakers, sina Direct Lino Broca, mga old school po talaga na director. At saka, what I like about the old filmmakers kasi, what I like about the old filmmakers kasi is, they put importance in rawness, in reality, right? That's what I like. Kasi parang, nowadays, I'm not just saying this particular generation, but when the 90s came and all that, parang kumbaga they started to like really put boundaries on what they're gonna be showcasing in films. Parang focused on, parang may nakausap akong ibang director, hindi ko na lang din po i-quote kung sino, pero nung tinanong ko yon, sabi niya sa akin, kasi at the end of the day, like most Filipinos, the reason, kasi tinatanong ko sa kanya, bakit po ganon? Like yung mga films ng mga talagang sobrang, yung reality talaga pinapakita nila, yung rawness and all. Bakit hindi yon nag-make ng name as compared sa mga mainstream talaga na, yung mga mainstream commercial films? Ang explanation sa akin noon was that, you know, we live in a third world country. Filipinos, when they go home, they're already tired. So when they watch a film, they want something to make them relaxed, make them feel good about themselves, etc. So you don't want to like showcase something that would stress them out. So yun po. So ang mga idol ko po talagang filmmakers yung Direct Lino Broca. Kasi gusto ko rin po na I really want to emphasize on the rawness of things, right? I also like direct. Well, I like the rawness part of direct Brillante Mendoza. Kasi ganun din yung style niya eh. Hindi siya yung, kumbaga, hindi rin siya mahilig mag-rely on VFX. Kung kailangan gawin to, papagawa niya sa'yo. So, medyo ganun din po ako. Ganun yung mentality ko.
Thank you, Direk. Our
For Bu and Direct Gayle, making this film in a way ba naging therapeutic for you both?
Both therapeutic and
Toxic.
both therapeutic and toxic at the same time. It was therapeutic in a sense because it humbles you eh. It reminds you of what the goal is of this film, and that is to spread awareness and to really end the stigma, is particularly in our country. But it's also stressful because you deal with different personalities, and at the end of the day, you cannot make use of your mental illness as an excuse, right? I'm not a fan of that, right? So I feel like it was a challenge all in all that really brought us to, to the success of this film and its continued success in the future.
Yeah, for me, yes. It was therapeutic. As I mentioned earlier nga, parang the timing also of it. Kaka-diagnose lang, and then parang I was really in the headspace na gusto ko siya maintindihan more. And I think yung film was a way for me to understand it more and then also have more knowledge to be able to share with other people. And at the same time, I got closer to my family because napapag-usapan namin yung issues. And yeah.
Final na kay Direct Gayle. What's special sa Philippine release ng As the Moth Flies?
What's special about it is that, well, it was made here. It's having its Asian premiere here, which is such a huge honor for us all. And at the same time, this is where most Filipinos now could really get a hold of or really get to watch what we're talking about. Again, when we executed the film, when we wrote it, when we scored it, when we chose the music that we're gonna be putting in this film, the scenes, the execution, it's all designed to make you feel like you're going inside someone else's head. That's how it's different. And I'm excited that Filipinos can now watch it because we have been getting numerous questions and requests if they could watch it or get a copy of the film, but we couldn't talaga because it could disqualify us to some festivals. So now it's back home, and so I'm inviting everyone, all Filipinos, even if you don't feel like you have mental illness, I think it's important to encourage everyone to go watch this film, right? And even the other films there, they have their own advocacies as well. Now we should support and also, kumbaga, get the knowledge na the filmmaker wants to establish. Kumbaga, that's why I highly encourage everyone to please support Sinag Maynila, all the films there, not just our film, right? Because it will really get to help you. It will help you not just with your mental health, but with a lot of things, because it's about time that Filipinos start focusing on the art scene again in the Philippines.
Thank
May
you.
awards night ba ang Sinag?
Meron po sa September 8.
Awards night?
Opo.
Yeah.
Kasali din ng short films.
Opo.
In
So,
competition din.
ang chance mo sa best actor.
Marami kasi dalawa films na napasok niya.
Meron din siya full length.
May full length din siya.
Her Locket.
Ano
Sa Her Locket.
Her Locket.
Ay, direct at director. Best director.
Akin naman po, manalo matalo, okay lang sa akin. Kasi, at saka hindi po yung chika lang Kumbaga, in all honesty, I think when you're very passionate about what you do, you don't really focus on what the wins are, what accolades you get. Ang importante doon, you get to relay the message.